Hey there.
He's eating again.
Hi there. I'm Mike. I'm the guy eating that shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
This is Richard the guy who has eaten and shouldn't be eating anymore either. So
Yeah.
we're both in the same boat. Thank you for joining us on Carteret CONNECTS on this wonderful Friday.
Yay, Friday.
Almost getting through with August. We're just kind of hoping these days just like fall off the calendar.
Yeah, well, I got a birthday coming up. So.
What's that?
Yeah, the end of August.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's that? What number is this going to be? 60 what?
62.
Get out of here, bullshit. 62. 52.
I wish it was 65.
Why's that? Would you
Get
punch out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get Medicare and get retirement?
Absolutely.
I'm looking at January
Yeah,
next year.
you had the
I'm not
foresight
65.
to be able to do it early, so
I paid for Mike 2021 a long
yeah,
time ago.
that's good for you, man.
Go to school and let's ring the bell. School's in session. If you're working, pay yourself first and put it in your 401k.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you're 30 and 40 and forget about it. That's what I did.
That's the biggest problem I
Now, look at
had
me.
with all that hopping I was doing early on.
I know. It's
Because
tough.
that I just didn't
Yeah.
take,
Yeah, and then when you hop and you stay in a job for 2 years and you had a 401k, you get a couple $1,000. Typically they cash out.
They cash out.
Yeah.
I made that mistake one time before. It was, I want to say it was like 11 grand total.
Yeah.
Then when I went through all the stuff, I ended up only getting like 2 grand.
It's called taxes.
Not just taxes, but the early penalty.
Yeah, the penalty too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
No more truism in life. Penalty for early withdrawal in financial.
Yeah, it actually works in reverse the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No kidding. We wouldn't know that. So anyway, we're glad when you were joined with us last time, we were talking about
Trying to talk about the turtles.
the turtles at Bear Island on part of Hammocks Beach State Park, and we did an inventory, or I was observing an inventory. The Rangers did the inventory, and the nest yielded 110 live turtles, and we found one live turtle in the nest, and here he is.
No.
They cook up nice.
No.
And I have some eggs, and no.
No.
We released him to the ocean.
Yeah.
But they have 15 nests on Bear Island, and when a nest hatches, or they call it a boil, typically they yield that many turtles, about 110. It takes about 60 to 80 days for the incubation period, and the Rangers, through their volunteers and their interns, actually, they chart that so they have an idea when the turtle's they're gonna hatch.
Aren't these turtles? They're not endangered, but
No.
they are endangered.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that many and still be endangered, that means there's a lot.
Yeah. And all up and down Bogue Banks are turtle nests. Emerald Isle has a turtle program. Fort Macon has a turtle program, and I'm sure Pineville Shores and the other municipalities on Bogue Banks.
I would think that a lot, with all the boat traffic and everything else.
Well, yeah, at several stages of their life, they're
completely
vulnerable to predators. When they're in the egg stage, in the nest, which is about 18 inches below the sand, ghost crabs are their number one predator, and because they can burrow into the sand, and then coyotes from the top. So they put these cages over top of the nest. You see them if you're on the beaches. They put cages over the nest, and they mark the pole with the number nest, so they have identification. When they do boil and hatch, they typically do it at night. Okay. So now the same predator can be there as well, ghost crab and coyote. If they happen to do it during daylight hours and there's birds out, gulls can come and sweep them up. So when we're doing an inventory, they purposely take the little ones that are still that are alive and make them walk from the beach into the ocean. And it's not anybody's idea of torture or just enjoyment. It's to get them their limbs acclimated and stretched a little. And it's funny, when they get into that water, they immediately they know how to swim, and you'll see them swimming away real fast, and then they pop up, their little heads pop up for air.
Amazing.
And they make it out. Yeah, now where they're going, when they leave here, when they go into the water on the shores here, they're heading towards a Sargasso Sea.
Right.
Sargasso. And you see it on maps. It's a big circular ocean within an ocean, sea within the ocean.
Just off the coast.
Just off the coast. It takes the turtles about 3 days to make it out there, and it's grass. It's a grass. The grass floats on the surface, so they're either underneath the grass or on top of the grass. That's where they hope to make it and then thrive and grow, because the other predators, once they get into the water, is anything that they fit in that fish's mouth. So, it can be anything.
And so basically only like 1% make it?
No, a much smaller percent than that. I think the numbers are 1 in 10,000 make it to the all.
Lord.
Now they can live, decades. They can live to be 80 years old. They're huge. Once they get out there, the males that are born, the males that are born, once they enter the water, that's the last time they come on shore. They they stay out in the ocean.
You know, I did see something. They do have a certain amount of buoyancy in their shell or something, right? Mm-hmm. Because I saw one on, they were rehabbing somewhere, you know, like, you know, Mali or somewhere. And he had a crack in his shell or something, and it was messing with his buoyancy. He couldn't stay
well, that's
up.
Their whole, you know,
yeah, he couldn't breathe because he kept, you know.
Yeah.
So they were trying to come up with something, you know, some sort of floating.
I wonder if they could put like epoxy or gorilla.
That's what they
gorilla
did.
glue, you know?
They did, but it seems like they also had to put some sort of like flotation thing that wasn't too much, but a little bit.
Yeah.
It was this whole
thing.
They
can get struck by boats. They can get struck by large, you know, ships out when they're.
That's what they said.
And they also are susceptible to quickly changing temperatures in water. I mean, like freezing. So you'll see that sometimes. They'll get stunned, and then they're.
That happens to fish too, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the turtles, when they get stunned, if they get caught quick enough, they can get taken to a rehab center. We have one down in Topsail, the Karen Beasley, and so they'll rehab them down there, and then when it's right, when it's suitable, they'll take them out, and some fishermen or some people that have boats take them out to the Gulf Stream, so they don't make them start the journey again from
right.
So with the exception of stunning and going to a rehab center, that's the only time males are going to ever come back in.
Wow.
Females typically come back to the same area from which they were hatched. And
that's good.
The sex in the egg is determined by the temperature of the sand. The rangers have a cute little way of remembering it. It's the temperature of the sand. Hot chicks, hot sand, makes more females, and cool dudes produce more of the male turtles. So up here in the northern reaches of their territory
males
are more males here. Florida, Georgia, and the areas down there are going to produce more females. So it's fascinating. If you want more information, go out to Hammocks Beach State Park. And if you're fortunate enough, or able enough, I should say, or if you're able to get out to Bear Island on your own boat, the rangers, you're welcome to watch them do the inventory. They typically do them 3 or 4 days after a nest hatches. If you're really into it, you might hit them up on Facebook and ask them when is the next nest expected to hatch, and you can kind of gauge it from there. They like to educate the people on what these turtles, what they mean, and what it's all about. So the whole inventory process, once you get out there, it lasts maybe 20-30 minutes. It's not a whole lot of time, and not always. It's never guaranteed that there'll be live ones in there, but oftentimes there are. And that's the thing. We had one in this nest, the one we did 2 weeks ago or so. We had like 9, I think, live. So there's kind of a race, and that's kind of it's fun to watch.
I wish them luck.
Man. Yeah. They have a tough. Well, like any small creature out in the ocean when from first hatch. I mean, there's fish out there eating other fish every day.
Absolutely.
So and these little turtles, they're just I don't know why.
I saw a video where a guy caught one of those big grouper that looks like a fish, but he's
monster.
Yeah. I was like, this thing is bigger than your boat.
Yeah. We've talked about it on Bogus's fishing report, those big fish. If you want to see pictures of the inventory we're talking about, you're on Facebook now.
For the turtles.
For the turtles. Just make a note to go to the Swansboro Area Chamber of Commerce. Put all that up in the search bar there. You'll see the pictures that we put up there earlier this week. I have them up there, and then the one from the previous inventory as well. Swansboro Area Chamber of Commerce. You got to put the area in there, and you'll find the right page. So
and if you do a comment, I'll try to remember to go in and point you.
In fact, if you guys, if you're listening now, and you can get a copy of today's daily news, the Jacksonville Daily News, there's a picture on page 4, a rather large picture from this past Tuesday of Ranger Francine Bozak. That's releasing the turtle, the one turtle we found. He needed a little bit of prodding, a little help to get closer to the water. And you see her kneeling down on the. She's taking a knee for the turtle.
Yeah.
And putting him in the surf there. So you'll see that picture there, and it gives a little description of.
Yeah, but that picture's not worth $1.50.
I took it.
Still not worth $1.50.
Oh, oh, he's talking about. Well, I think you can. I saw it online yesterday.
Oh,
so
there you go.
jdnews.com.
There you go.
There you go.
Richard
said, "Don't drop the shekels."
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $1.50 for one picture, but
But you can go. You'll see the same picture on my Facebook page or the Chamber's Facebook page, Swansboro Area Chamber of Commerce.
So what you got going on this weekend?
Nothing. It's going to enjoy it. I'm going to sit in the garage and watch the grass grow. I got to cut the grass.
Really?
But
you won't be able to do it today. It's too wet.
I'm not going to do it today. Now today I've got chamber business after I leave.
What did West say the weather's supposed to be?
Beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful. Today.
Starting when?
Now, 20% chance of rain today. And
so if I wash my car today, Les,
you're good. Yeah,
okay,
you're good.
because Les owes me some money.
The weekend's gorgeous. That beautiful beach weather. It's 20% chance both days, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday 0.
Okay, great.
0% chance of rain. Temperatures around 90 degrees though. It's hot, and we still don't have any. It's too early to talk about cold fronts coming down. Kind of that transition from fall to or summer to fall. And I mean, during normal times. Tonight, Friday, would have been the second week of high school football. So
it's
not until like week 5 that you get that cool weather. Right?
Either 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, I was outside right after it got dark, and it was nice. Mm-hmm. But it's been humid, and even when because it's only been like 80, 85, mm-hmm. but it's been kind of humid with all this rain and whatnot. In Richmond, where my parents live. We had a creek out back, and the shed, which is probably this high above the ground, because it sits up. Yeah. They had it flooded. Mm-hmm. So my dad's been having to try to put a fan out there, but it hasn't gone anywhere because it's so humid. Yeah. Nothing's drying out. So they've been fighting with that. So they got a ton of rain up there, probably like we did.
We've had a lot of rain here.
Oh, absolutely. The other day it rained so much it was almost up the door of the apartment we live in. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You have a pool and a pond.
Yeah, pond's good for you. Caddyshack reference for you guys. Fantastic podcast. It was a great podcast. I really enjoyed that.
He shared a podcast with me about these two guys talk about movies, and they talked
Rewatchables is what it's called.
Talked about Caddyshack, and I think the podcast was 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah.
Practically, I think
that was
longer than the movie itself.
Their general rule is to keep the podcast shorter than the movie.
Well, they just might have done it by a minute.
And as far as I know. They've had 2 that have gone longer than the movie.
I love it. Caddyshack. I mean, that's another movie. You're walking through the living room and it's on. You stop. You gotta.
And that's the whole premise for that particular podcast is it's not necessarily the best movie. It's the ones that when you see it, you go, oh, and sit down and watch something in it. So
because they said it has the staying power.
And it does.
And it does. And one of the it's because of the different phrases.
Yeah.
What we just the little quotes from the movie, like, wait, you have a pond and a pool. Yeah, pond would be good for you, Carl. The other one was, are you going to eat your fat?
Yeah.
Spalding, right?
And the nunna when you're trying to make somebody mess up and stuff. Yeah, that'd be all of that stuff. You didn't realize how much you do it until they actually talk about it.
How many times have you said to somebody, and you'll get nothing and like it, right? Ted Knight saying at the Spalding because he wants a hamburger, no a cheeseburger.
Yeah, oh God.
I want a milkshake. You'll get nothing and like it.
I say that Spalding line every time I go up to somewhere, particularly outdoor drive-in like L's or somewhere like that.
I should have written these down because they could have said, "Who said this? Man in the boat overboard." Who says that?
Oh, that's who is that?
That's Carl Spangler.
Okay.
He's watching the ladies tee off. Oh, yeah. Man in the boat overboard.
That's the one where he's talking about her being a monkey woman.
Yeah. Whatever that means. That's just Bill Murray.
He just made it up.
That's just, exactly. That's Bill Murray. He's watching, if you haven't seen this movie, ladies and gentlemen, probably more ladies than gentlemen that haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Carl Spangler, played by Bill Murray, is the groundskeeper. And he's a
allegedly
scruffy little dude. And he's watching the ladies tee off at one of the tee boxes there. And they're in their fine golf attire, and
but they're older women.
And Harold Ramis, the director of the movie, and they brought Murray in because of his improv, and they must have just said, okay,
go for it.
Carl, you're in this scene, or Bill, you're in this scene. Ladies are going to tee off. Just do some improv.
That's exactly what they did.
He's washing one of the golf balls, and he's doing the ball washer.
Yeah, you don't see all that.
And he's looking at the ladies, and he's there. You're a monkey woman. You're a monkey woman. You're lean, mean, and pretty far in between. Right? Boom, and they tee off, and that's it. And that's the scene.
Yeah.
But it's just classic.
It's so great.
And you just want. I always like to see outtakes and bloopers of movies. And I don't know if they had any such thing in those movies because
I don't think
it was Rodney Dangerfield is in it.
Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, a couple other people you'd know if you saw them.
Ted Knight from Mary Tyler Moore. But Rodney had never done a movie before. And all he did was he took his stage act, his improv
and
act,
just went for it,
which he played out in clubs and on Carson's show, and that's him out there.
Well,
that's the worst yet.
They weren't lying when they said the movie is disjointed because it's really like a lot of little skits.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it's some iconic stuff going on in that.
Like when
especially if you fall in a certain age bracket.
When Rodney walks into the pro shop for the first
Oh
time.
yeah, that's great.
I'll take a dozen of these. Ooh, that's the worst yet. You buy a hat like that, they give you a free bowl of soup. Flash over to Ted Knight, who's wearing the same hat, but it looks good on you. They said, I don't know. I haven't listened to every second of that podcast that was going in and out, but I did read interviews where, and I forget who was being. I think it was Ramis. That said that after every scene that Rodney was in, he'd walk over to Ramis and he's like, "How'd I do? How was it? I was terrible. I was terrible out there." He said, "No, you're killing it.
Yeah,
great."
Because he didn't know. He had no point of reference. He had no point of reference. And you think about it, Bill Murray wasn't a star yet. That was really he hadn't done Stripes yet.
The biggest star.
Chevy was supposed to
Chevy
be.
was, but the one that had a lot of resume and credentials behind him was the Caddy. He had just come out of I forget that it was a drama
Academy Award
movie, for a supporting actor.
Yeah, and wasn't he like breaking? Wasn't it that bicycle movie or something?
It might have been, I forget what the name of the movie was, but he was a young kid, but he had some cred already. These other guys were comedians and sketch artists, and that's really, and so was Ramis. I mean, Ramis came out. I think he was in Second City.
But they did. He was national anthem. But see, they also pivoted well because they realized that the golf course was a character and the gopher was a character.
And the gopher was, actually the storyline was going to be about the caddies.
It was just about the caddies.
Because Bill Murray and his brother Brian were caddies.
Yeah.
And so they knew what caddies were. The whole story was going to be about the caddy, this caddy. And then the gopher was tearing up the golf course, and then Murray.
That became a whole thing.
And then Bill Murray stole the caddy. He took all the wind out of it, and all of a sudden, caddies are second nature, and it's the gopher. And so they had to make the story switch and pivot to the gopher, and then they brought in Kenny Loggins too for the music. Because remember, I don't know if they brought in their first. Was it Steely Dan? Was one of their artists?
Oh God!
One of the artists that they first were going to use was that, and I got my movies. I scratched that. Never mind. That's another.
Well, all I know is
that's Saturday Night Fever. They had. I mean, we're switching movies here. Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta was the music was first. They first used Steely Dan, and they said no.
Yeah, that's
and then
horrifying.
they brought the BJ's in. The Bee Gees. Yeah.
Well, all I know is
Kenny Loggins is known for that.
And his run of movies right there was Footloose.
Yeah.
This, I'm All Right, which was the theme for Caddyshack, and then Top Gun.
Yeah.
And that's
huge.
That's a fairly large.
Think of that
run.
Check each month coming
out. I mean,
that's nice royalty.
You got Danger Zone and I'm All Right and Footloose.
You don't see that now. Our producer here, Ross, is a huge Star Wars fan. Even like James Bond, the franchise. Back in the day, they would release a song about from the movie, which would be usually the opening song in a James Bond, and in like those high-end adventure drama like Top Gun, even like St. Elmo's Fire,
right?
The Flashdance. The music that came out in advance of the movie was huge. You would hear. I remember Flashdance. You heard that song. What a feeling!
Oh, they still play that.
What a feeling! What a feeling!
It's on TikTok.
I know, but I'm saying you heard that back in the day before the movie came out, and when the movie came out, and that's why you went to the theater.
To be fair, you mentioned James Bond. They still do that. As a matter of fact, Adele did. I don't think it was the last one, but it's one of the few movies that I can think of off the top of my head that do that.
Yeah.
And they probably only do it because they always have for James Bond.
And then to be able to say, if you're the artist, I did the song for it.
I mean,
to live another day.
Think about the movies like, well, it's not a good movie, but like Flash Gordon, where they did the entire soundtrack was done by Freddie Mercury and Queen.
Yeah. Or was it Iron Man? AC/DC.
Yeah.
And they kind of used that AC/DC. I don't know who used who, but AC/DC.
Oh, they put
AC/DC
back on the map.
You see them in that big amphitheater, whatever that thing
is. It put them back on the map. Not that they had really, I don't want to say they'd fallen off, but they're an old classic rock band.
Have you seen? Go into YouTube, and Mary here showed it to me on her phone. But you guys can go on, if you go into YouTube and Google 1,000, the number 1,000 musicians play, and then you can say AC/DC Metallica.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that. It looks like it's at a big
No,
open air
yeah,
stadium.
no, they do that. It's like a flash mob almost.
Yeah. So, but they're bringing. I mean, they're not just playing. The songs I've seen are AC/DC and Metallica.
No, these are real musicians.
No, but I know, but they're playing more than just one song and then picking
Right,
up all their stuff.
right.
So it's a whole event.
Yeah.
So you sit there and they have when they show it, it looks like they have like 250 people playing drums on separate drum sets. They have the guitar section over here. They have the vocals over here. Any other type of instrument that's phenomenal.
It's like it's like a flash mob.
Who
They
thought
put
of
it
that?
out.
Who's the guy that's directing it?
Well,
too?
nobody's really
There is a
directing.
guy. He's like on a little podium.
Well, yeah, but he's not really in charge.
He looks like he's somebody because he has a
it's not really set up like
there's
that.
There's a lot of songs. There's a
But
lot.
yeah, it's not really that formal.
Where is that taking place? Is that at British? Is that
Different
Europe?
places. I know they've done it some they did one
What's
in New York.
European?
They did one in like Stockholm or somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a Wembley Stadium or something like that.
Which generally it's near like a college.
I don't know how have you guys?
Because they're musicians.
I know, but you got. I mean, I'm just saying logistics. You know, you can set up your drum set from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But how do you bring all that?
Well,
stuff
that's why
in?
it's generally a park area.
And they're all in sync when they're
Right.
playing.
It's generally like a park area because the one they did in New York was, it's that area near Central Park that's kind of right on the edge.
The meadow.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, Sheep's Head.
Sheep's
Meadow or something.
And so they kind of do it there. And
That's
the one
cool.
that I saw at Stockholm was right on the edge of a
really
college.
cool. I mean, I'm sure they're going to start covering more. And you think about the AC/DC, Highway to Hell is what they play.
The one I had one in London
Yeah.
that I saw as well. It was in one of those districts where they have a lot of foot traffic, so it's not something that they have to worry about. Oh, you got to pick up and move.
It's pretty cool.
It's excellent. But again, they're musicians. They're real musicians.
Yeah,
so
but they sound so. It sounds so good, and there's so many of them that when I heard AC/DC's Highway to Hell, it sounded like Angus was out there playing guitar. Now they make them. I think they tell them you have to stay in your space because none of the guitarists were like running around.
No.
I thought
you got to respect everybody there.
Yeah, and I thought one of them. I didn't. Maybe somebody was dressed like him in the schoolboy outfit, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear it. I mean, it'd be great.
Yeah.
There's. I hesitate to use this comparison, but they have something like that at some of the Dead shows.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're talking about not a small number, and they call it drum roll or drum something. Anyway, they got a term for it, and there's a bunch of them, and they're playing.
When did that start? When did 1,000 Musicians start?
Yeah, I don't know.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah,
She just showed me the other day.
I don't know that there was that formal, but I've seen them for a couple of years.
You check it out. You'll be intrigued. I think you'll start saying, "I wonder if they can do this song."
It's essentially like bringing, hey, let's have a choir and sing this song at 1:00, and you send it out, and a bunch of people that can really sing show up, and
That's what we do here. We have flash mobs in Coastal Daybreak all the time. We get usually Jairus or Jake show up. So we have our.
We need to have them on the show before he leaves.
We gotta get Jairus.
Yeah.
Our intern, the intern here at the radio station, young Jairus, who just graduated from West Carteret High School. You've seen him here. We had him here early in the broadcast. We joked, halfway joked, that we were going to kill him off in season 2, but here we are, season 1 still, 51 shows.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to leave for good.
He's
leaving.
He's leaving Carteret County in the United States. He's on a mission for the Latter-day Saints. He's going to the island of Barbados down in the southern Caribbean.
Not a bad setup.
Nice digs for an 18-year-old young
as long
man.
as you got air conditioning.
They have air conditioning. They have a trade wind. I mean, I've been in Barbados twice, and on the east side there's nothing stopping the winds from Africa until you get to Barbados. So it's breezy on that side. It's very pleasant.
Really?
We stayed at the Sandy Lane Hotel, and I don't even know if they had air conditioning, honest to God.
Is that when you make your money laundering trip every year?
Yeah, go down there. I got my
Down
stash
through
down there.
Cayman.
That's where I get my Molly. Yeah. They bring it from Venezuela through Trinidad.
Small fishing boat full of
I
cash.
pick it up at Barbados, yeah. And then I get my my canoe, which I bought at Walmart. It's on my porch, or on the side of my house, and then I paddle up the...
You got a canoe, really?
Makes me look like I do stuff outdoors.
I was about to say, I've never seen you on.
We have it next to the house. In fact, I told you this story. A couple that was looking at the property next door, they asked, can we walk down your driveway to look at the lot? And I said, sure. And they looked over and they said, look, he's got a canoe. It's like, yeah, and there's the water. That's why. So I have a bird bath too, but I don't take a bath, and it's just we like birds,
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Like
I have taken it out because we've got a nice.
Now what you need is to get some of those ore stickers to put in the back of your car, like you actually
Salt Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Life, yeah.
Like you actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll pass.
I want to get. What would be cool is that same canoe with a little trolling motor. Now you're set.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
You know.
I got some friends that whitewater raft.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's not my. I'm not. No.
Oh, have you done it? Have you
No.
ever done it?
No.
You do it once, you're hooked. Whitewater rafting. If you guys have done it, raise your hand.
You done it?
Oh hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've done it in the Nantahala in western North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I did it in actually in Antietam,
There-
in
there-
Maryland, coming
yeah.
down through Sharpsburg, and then out in Idaho in a snake.
When's the last time you did it?
Well, that last time was in Idaho, 1997 or so. It's been a while.
Yeah, you need to go do it again.
It's great because
I can hook you up with the people in action.
the water takes you. We had a guide in Idaho.
Yeah, that's how they
we
do
did
it.
in Nantahala. It was like 6 or 8 people in there.
That's
We
how
got
they-
one guy in there with the oar that's steering. He knows where all the rocks are.
Yeah,
and all
so
that.
he's really
But
good.
it's a blast.
Yeah.
Now we did a slow float down the Antietam River Creek, which goes through the battlefield in Maryland, and it was about a 5 mile. They dropped us off with a bus at the top, and they picked us up at the bottom, and it was just my wife and I, and that was just a slow, lazy, like a float like you'd do at Disney World. You know,
Okay.
it's easy.
Yeah,
So that's a lot of fun.
that sounds great.
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't want to do it though. I'll pass.
It's like downhill skiing. You know, that's not gravity takes care of you. You know, cross country skiing is a different story. For downhill, you just go and you just
And you stop when you hit something.
yeah, you hit a tree.
I have to say, I thought I'd be able to pick skiing up easier than I did because I had ice skated and everything.
Yeah.
I never had a problem picking that stuff up.
You did.
But
You did well, or you did not do well.
I did okay. I actually did better than I did water skiing.
I can't water ski.
I can't either.
I can't get up.
I can't either.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing.
And I'm not
wrong.
the greatest downhill skier, but someone told me, they said just go down and pretend like you're sliding into second base.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then do it again. And, do
And-
it again.
and-
And that's what I did. And it's you reach that point. It's like when we do our
I got
update
that
here.
pretty
You
easy.
reach that point where it's like, hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then you start, you're a little out of control, and you just take it down.
And you go over that line.
Yeah. I mean, how many Kennedys like ran into trees and killed themselves? Remember that? They were playing water bottle football out
Yeah.
in Breckenridge or something like that.
I
It's
don't-
dangerous. You can, you know.
I enjoyed that, and water skiing and wakeboarding looked like it was something, but I could never.
You know what? I haven't done this, but it looks like fun and something that easily I could do. You get a motorboat, you get a tethered line, and a big fat inner tube, and just park your butt there.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I can't water ski. I don't know why. And we would go over to the
Yeah, I can't either.
We would go to the Chesapeake Bay on weekends, and my buddies I would just be the spotter on the boat and I swim. Water's my natural habitat, but I can't pull up and go.
I actually, the last time I did it, I tried it at White Lake, which is calm, flat, and no, I couldn't get up. And then to make matters worse, I held on to the rope too much, and it was dragging me. But when I let go, it had expanded and it shot back and hit my, at the time, girlfriend's father in the chest.
Yeah.
So they were not happy with me because and I tried to tell them I didn't want to do it, but you know how people are.
Yeah.
You'll love it. I just told you I don't think I'm going to love this.
You said hit him in the chest. I heard a story this other day. I'm going to tell bogus on Monday. A fisherman, I don't know where, a 50-pound mackerel jumped out of the water, hit him in the chest, and killed him.
Seriously?
Yeah, I have to find that story for him because I don't know if that's a big fish or not. 50-pound mackerel.
I was about to ask the mackerel, get that
Hit
big?
him right in the pacemaker. We'll find that story. We'll give that to bogus on Monday.
Mackerel get 50 pounds.
I don't know.
See what I know? I'm a land dweller.
Let's bounce out of here.
Yeah.
You have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Hit the beach, and we'll see you next time.